Hey there, folks. Brother Ed coming to you once again from Louisville, Kentucky, and hopefully, this is going to be news that you can use. I hope it will be. Biden wants to use COVID style restrictions to achieve his climate change goals. Of course, they're still screaming global warming. Anybody that's done any research at all knows that we are in a process of global cooling, which is likely going to lead to a period very similar to the Little Ice Age of the Middle Ages, which was absolutely wretched. If you don't know about that, there is an entire documentary that was done by the History Channel that you can find on YouTube titled Little Ice Age Big Chill. You really should look into that. That caused major mayhem throughout the entire world. We're talking global starvation, was direct cause of the French Revolution. Yeah, I mean, there were some good things that came out of it, like the Stradivari violin, but there was a lot more bad things. Of course, after that happened, and after the plague, also, those two things combined, a lot of people died. If they didn't die from the plague, they died from starvation, which in the aftermath was better for the people that still remained, because anyone who had not previously been able to be a property owner, suddenly all they had to do was just move in with someplace where someone had died, and it was theirs, pretty much. So I think it would be far more catastrophic at this point than it was then. But the same advantages, I think, would still be there, maybe even more so, because this would be things that would not just affect the common public. This would be catastrophic situations that would be affecting the evil government that we currently have in power, which would be a wonderful thing. Get rid of as many of them as we possibly can through natural causes. That would be absolutely wonderful. And then we come in, we take over, and we do it right, the way God wants it to be done. Instead of judging and ridiculing, criticizing, and condemning people for being different, we love and use tolerance. As long as people are not doing anything to hurt themselves or anybody else, doesn't matter what they're doing, really. And that's what it should be. Communities instead of cities, states, and federal. We wouldn't have any more of that. You know what I'm saying? That would all be in the past. We would have communities with community government, community law enforcement, and of course, different communities, I'm sure, would do things differently. But my community, we would be as I just described. As long as you're not doing anything to harm yourself or anybody else, you can do what you want. You know, just make sure that everything that you do is for the good and the betterment of the entire community. That's all anybody has to do in my community. That would be a very good thing, I think. And the leader would be elected by the people of the community. And whatever laws that he or she wanted to create would all have to go through every member of the community. And if there was not an overwhelming majority of the people in the community that are in favor of that law being passed, it doesn't get passed. Tough titty. I want something to be done that the majority of the people say they don't want to be done. It's not going to get done if they don't want it. That's just the way it should be. And that's the way that it will be in that kind of situation. And I'm really hoping, to be honest with you, that we do actually see something seriously catastrophic come down the pipes that will allow for that. I really do. I know it sounds selfish, but we need to have divine intervention. If it's going to be in the form of a massive solar flare that takes out the power all over the entire world, a coronal mass ejection, something along those lines, I'm all for it. Yes, I know a lot of people would die, but those who are willing to help, those that are not going to be dum-dums and be violent, those who are willing to help the good people and the ones with children. I'm sorry, but in a situation like that, if the parents are being stupid, I'm not going to do anything to help them. Sorry, I'm just not. But if they've got children, I'll tell them, you know what, y'all, I ain't having anything to do with. Your children, on the other hand, they can come be part of this community. We will look after them. We will feed them. We will take care of them. We will love them. They'll be okay. But you can take yourself and your attitude on up out of here, because we don't want to have anything to do with you. That's what I would do. And if it comes to that, that's what I will do. But people who behave properly can come in. Whole families, as long as they behave properly, can come into the community. I hope that it does get to that point. That something happens, that God sends something our way that allows for us to do that. Because then, hopefully we can avoid wars with other communities. Of course, there's probably always going to be people out there who their own community is not enough for them. They have to try and take over somebody else's as well. Well, in that case, as much as I would hate to do it, I guess really the only thing to do would be to give up the community that you have currently and start a new one somewhere else where you can maybe hide it. I would say likely the best place to have a community like that is going to be in the forest, because you can keep yourself pretty well hidden. You just got to go deep enough into the forest to hide really good. Hopefully. Hopefully. At any rate, dogs. Yeah, there are quite a few countries already training dogs for, using them to sniff out COVID. I have serious issues with that. I don't really doubt the dogs' noses and the accuracy. What I do doubt is the people that are training the dogs. What are they training these dogs to actually sniff for? Are they training them to sniff for every variant of COVID that there is, coronavirus? Because there are many of them out there. Common cold is a coronavirus. For all we know, someone with the common cold, the dog smells that. They have a different scent than they would if they didn't have a cold. And these people are claiming that the person is COVID-19 and causing all kinds of mayhem in their life. If it even really exists. I personally don't believe that does. I believe they just invented it to scare everybody into letting them have complete control. Honestly, I really do. These people are not above anything. Well, in the meantime, what do? This is what we do. Get your organic seeds while you still can, because they're getting to be in very short supply. Various companies are trying to monopolize on them, and when they do, it's not going to be good. So go to 4patriot.com. They got a big package of organic seeds that you can get for like $30. It's the cheapest I've found so far. Almost 1,000 seeds for $30. Get that. Get a bunch of them if you can. I would really recommend berries and melons as well. They've got a lot of vitamin C, and that's very important to good health. Beans, lentils, chickpeas, those are loaded with zinc. You need a lot of zinc and vitamin C to stay healthy. Keep your immune system where it needs to be. Get you some chickens if you don't have any. Get you some milk goats or some ewes, some female sheep that are nursing or have been nursing, so that you can drink their milk. Goat's milk, sheep's milk, both good. Goat's milk is lactose free, sheep's milk is not. So keep that in mind. Be as well prepared as you can be, folks, because now they're claiming that we've got alien, what do you call it, first contact coming, likely this coming month, something along those lines. It's not going to be extraterrestrials, folks. I'm telling you, don't believe these people. This is fallen angels and their hybridized offspring that they have bred with human beings, and probably even recently, in recent years, started developing genetic mutations of hybrids, human and angel, in laboratories. I'm sure that has been done as well. Genetically enhanced, likely. Of course, we're not going to be able to tell what kind of people that they are. They're going to look like us, but they are not going to be like us. I would suggest looking for additional digits on the fingers and toes, and if you can manage to get a good look inside their mouth, see if they've got more than one row of teeth and what kind of teeth they have. Seriously, because these are likely going to be people that are going to process us and the animals for food. And as far as I'm concerned, this is only my own personal view, but I really do believe that all of these things that these people all over the world are trying to do with reference to lowering carbon emissions to zero. Think about it. If you go into not only the 6th chapter of Genesis, but also into the book of Enoch, the book of Joshua, Jubilees, do some research. When these fallen angels did go in among human females, married, had children with them, they became giant human eating killers. That's what they did. They ate us. They hunted us down and they ate us. They ate all the animals that they could find, and then when all the animals were gone, they ate us. And then when they started having difficulty finding us, they turned on each other and ate each other. They cannibalized one another. Where do you think the stories of the Titans and what have you came from? Trust me, that's where it came from. It all really happened. It's not myth. They want you to believe it's myth, but it's not. It all happened. All of these things that people call myth have a base in truth. Remember that. A historical base in truth. Well, all I have to say is back then when that happened, there was no carbon emissions because there was nothing to produce carbon emissions other than plants. So the climate and everything about it was different. It was suitable for these hybrids to thrive in. Now, it's likely not because of the Industrial Revolution and everything that came after. So they need to get it back to where it was when they first started all of this, so that these creatures will have the right kind of planetary environment that they need to thrive in, while we just wind up being ranched for food is what we'll wind up being if we allow this to happen. Don't fall for it, folks. Don't fall for it. It's happened before, and they're going to try and do it again. Be prepared. Till next time, pray for divine intervention, because we need it more now every day than we've ever needed it before. Every day we need it more than before. Brother Ed, signing out with love.